I went to that place, and it certainly takes part of New York City across Corona Park. We watched the whole entire 2 hours of the show. The place was not that far ahead due to how many minutes it usually drives there. So the name for this place was Dance for the People. There was a bunch of people that gathers up to see people dance on stage. They did an amazing talent, which very absurd, and I can't believe how impressed I was because of that event we went to since yesterday. It starts like 5:30, but we just had to get everything ready before the whole entire program starts. So now we know how all Asian people were there. And since we got out from the auditorium, guess who I just saw? I met up with a YouTuber that has over 3,000 subscribers. He seems so dedicated due to being apart from this journey. It was crowds and massive people that were trying to get out from this place. The door was locked up properly because and all of the lighting were turned off when the show or program starts. They kept up a few rules just to remind some of it. Never record standing up because it can lead into blockage of the amount of people that were sitting. You are not allowed to talk to people when the program starts. This is urgent for all of us. You can clearly identify what was the situation between all this. The whole entire people were started clapping and cheering for everybody. According to that book, there was some names that was listed and it was all women. After we finished all that, we were so tired we had to drive back home. And then today we got nothing else to do. Just sit here and relax for a bit. We can have a rewatch if you want to. But it should be just fun for everybody. Not only that, it's located at the Queen's Theater. I'll show you where it is. Hold up. Let me identify this picture real quick. Queen's Theater. Let me look up something real quick before I start recording here. Yeah, this is the place I went to. And we may have to allow security before we enter. So there was a bunch of officers that were outside guarding the door and entrance. Maybe they need to get 3 tickets in order for them to pass. You could use the scanner to show the ID of the ticket that you're attending. Personally, you might be able to access it whenever you can. It was cool to see the venue of it. We can just look around. I cannot film this because it's a big event. There is no other seating than the top floor. It was not that frequent as usual. To see the whole entire decor of this, area, it was so packed, and many lightings were trying to cover their face. At least they seemed quite inevitable, just to remind themselves based on how much screen they obviously can spot it from. It wasn't live streamed, unfortunately. It has to be set through a video, and then after it's done recording, it should be published to YouTube automatically. Maybe we can have a full rewatch of it later on. Let me search up auditorium on the YouTube TV session. Okay, I look it up, and now you can see that the venue was not as crowded as before. Many people dress up in a costume where they actually get up onto the stage and start showing off their dance moves to the whole entire audience. They are so funny about the part where they actually had to put the ball on top of their head. And then they actually had to bend their legs down when they do a full sitting position. It's like kind of similar to lunges, and you know what these are. They call it like the sitting upwards position. They had to be bent properly, otherwise it might tilt and start to break onto this glass metal type of the floor. It's so rough that you can actually feel it onto the stage. Many people can walk up to it, but sometimes they would just fall instantly. When there is no objects that was laying around, sometimes it could be crucial by bringing their own batons. There is a certain amount of people that use paper fans when they actually fling it upside down. But no, they had to fan it around more, just to make it look like a scenery. In the background, you can see the Chinese temple from that big lighting screen area. The music was so peaceful. It was fun to entertain. I thought they went asleep, but sadly they did not. Everybody instantly got up and started walking away from the podium because they don't think it is undeniable for them to do it. They reminded us to do everything that they said onto the venue, and then you can see the billboard across from each room. It's like not that big, but it's kind of small to everyone. Sometimes there's a door when a person comes in. It guides through the entrance when they are participating to that one eligible event. That door was so easy to open. You can literally see the handle that is in front. It can push the door open or let it pull out instantly whenever they leave. So it was quite intense to see how all Asian people were gathered. None of my friends should have come. It's like a 20 to 30-minute drive. There was no parking space because all of the people has taken it. I was so worried that they should have parked somewhere that is dangerous. But no, we decided to go through the security, and they said, "Is there a way to find a parking space?" And he said, "Yes, you can go into the door and there's supposed to be a parking space right behind the black car or next to it. And then when we got out of the car, we instantly walked through the theater. And guess what? A big storm of line that is crowding up against behind toward another Asian woman or man. It was so famous that it usually created since long time ago. Not all Asian people would come to bear witness for everything. Many American people would come just to dignify everything that comes within their spirit. It teaches us many things whenever they start praying to God every day. I would expect just to have that negative feeling, but personally, it's only just for thoughtful thinking. Thank you guys so much to those here that were attending the Dance for the People event. It was a major fun trip, but even though we just already got out from the house since like 9:30 a.m. in the morning, it's like a 8-hour ride, or maybe we call it a journey, of course. And then on Tuesday, I'll be going back to the aquarium to see the full animal. And maybe we could identify some sharks, dolphins, whales, and all that. It should be not that long as possible because it may take a lot of buses to get through. Of course, there wouldn't be as long as it could be. You can identify a subway train that lives nearby through New York City or anywhere else. It's not really that personal enough just to showcase their benefit. I'll be going with someone outside. And then when a person certifies the session for next week, by the time if they won't be here, maybe I can just do it on my own. I can just walk by myself unless it's somebody helps me to get in a certain direction. Or maybe I can use a tracker to help me find a place so that I can just explore for a while. Maybe we should come back maybe in the afternoon time. How about that? It sounds quite significant. You wouldn't even notice about the singular product that we actually use for most of its usual time. Quite frankly decent for using that much dollar bills when they actually pay forward of anything. When they actually buy certain amounts of food, you can tell a cashier how much money I would personally get back. If a person say that food costs $5, so I would just give them the change. But it has to be in the correct order though. What if they try to rob a person that steals everything? That should not be okay. It's considered stealing. Robbing all of that money, like having an award, could have been just meaningless. Of all those situations that those people have, they were too obnoxious. These guys were painful. None of these should have been treated unfairly. Because they are usually black and white. Sometimes they might have to go on a fight or just find themselves on a rampage. Just know, don't go near to that person because they might find out a total hypocrite. Hit that subscribe button and make sure to comment and like. See you later.